Good evening, I'm Gracie and this is Emelia McGill. We are level 1 members of the Osceola FCCLA chapter. Our star event this year is Food Innovations. We chose this project because we both love the creativity that comes with cooking and baking.
We looked into making carrot muffins at the end of the summer, but the topic this year for level 1 was cookie bars. At first, we had no idea what cookie bars were, but with the help of our advisor, we figured it out and found a recipe that was close to the same concept.
The challenge for our project this year was to find a vintage mix and turn it into a modern treat that people of all ages would enjoy. We found the original recipe in an old vintage cookbook that our advisor suggested due to its large selection of cookie bars. The recipe we found was pumpkin bars, which is a popular food item in fall because of its festive pumpkin flavor.
We wanted to create something that would satisfy the consumers all year round, no matter what the season is. With that in mind, we changed the main concept of pumpkin bars and substituted it with carrots instead.
We came up with this idea because we noticed that carrots have a very similar taste to pumpkin. We also chose it because we have noticed that in modern days people are trying to create a healthier yet tasty option when it comes to desserts. And another reason is because research says that carrots are rich in vitamins, minerals, and fibers. They also have many benefits such as reducing the risk of cancer.
With all of these reasons, we talked amongst ourselves to try to decide how much of each ingredient we needed. We also talked to our advisor to see what goes well with carrots. She suggested maple. With that in mind, we had to figure out how to incorporate that into our recipe.
On January 24th, we made the first batch of carrot bars. We started off by baking the carrots so we can make the carrot puree. We wanted to know exactly what was in the carrot puree from scratch because we wanted to know exactly what was in it. We made the carrot puree by chopping carrots and adding cooking oil so they don't dry out. We placed them on a baking sheet with wax paper, then placed them in the oven to bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until they became soft. So it's easier to puree and also give them a sweeter flavor.
While the carrots were baking, we started to make the batter. We started by adding the dry ingredients together, then proceeding with adding the wet ingredients. Once that was mixed together, we waited till the carrots were done baking. As soon as the carrots were done, we mashed them into a puree, then added them to the batter.
We placed a sheet of wax paper on a 13 by 10 by 1 inch baking sheet. Then we dumped the batter on a baking sheet, then placed it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. While that was baking, we made the cream cheese frosting. This is where we incorporated the maple extract. We chose this decision because we thought it would be simple to replace the vanilla extract that was already in the recipe.
Once the carrot bars were fully cooked, we took them out of the oven so they could cool before we placed the frosting on top. While it was cooling, we roasted some chopped pecans at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 6 minutes. We added the pecans because we wanted more texture to the carrot bars.
When the carrot bars were done cooling, we added an 1/8 of an inch thick layer of frosting. Once we had an even coat, we added pecans on top and then cut them into 2 by 2 inch squares.
The next day, we had 9th graders, 2nd graders, and a couple extra students to try our product. We made surveys that asked 4 different things: taste, texture, appearance, and marketability. We asked them to rate it from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best. The outcome of our carrot bars were on the edge of perfection, but we are still not satisfied. They all gave us really good feedback to use in our next revision. The worst review was a 3 on taste and texture and 4 on appearance and marketability.
We weren't very happy with the textures, and not many others were either. We got some feedback from some of the testers. After talking, we found out that they necessarily didn't like how crunchy the carrots were. We talked a little longer and had one more complaint from one of the extra students. She said the bars were a little more dense like bread, and she would more like it of a cake density. She also commented how she wanted more pecans.
On January 28th, we made our final batch. When doing so, we incorporated the students' opinions, which helped us along the way. We wanted to fix the issue from the first revision, which was the density. We fixed this problem by adding 1/4 of a cup less flour. We wanted to satisfy the rest of the consumers, so we added more frosting and more pecans.
When we made the second revision, we used the same precautions and steps as the first. The only things we did differently was the amount of time we cooked the carrots, the amount of flour, frosting, pecans we added. We multiplied the frosting recipe by 1.5 because we didn't have a thick enough layer, and we used 6 ounces of pecans.
When testing the product, we used the same groups of students, but we had teachers' opinions as well. The survey were the same as well. We also chose the same group of students because we wanted the taste of the last batch to be in their minds, and we wanted to hear about their opinions and the difference they saw. The feedback came back almost perfect. The best review was 5 out of 5 on taste, texture, appearance, and marketability. The worst was 3 on taste and 4 on texture, appearance, and marketability.
Our inspiration for the packaging of captivating carrot bars was to base it off a cake box and the inside packaging. We chose this idea because we think that it would be a good way not to only sell it, but to also make it appealing to the eye. Inside our packaging would have the dry ingredients of batter, frosting not included, and the outside of the packaging, instructions, net weight, and all the other information.
We think people would want to buy this product because it gives kids and adults a chance to start learning good eating habits. It also teaches kids that not all desserts are horrible for you. Another reason is because it would be a nice dessert for family parties and to enjoy with friends.
Emelia and I are very happy with the results. We hope to do this project in the future. We also hope that we could get people of all ages to eat new and exciting foods.
One skill that we learned or improved on while doing our project is agreeing with others' ideas. We have had the same ideas throughout most of our project, but we had a couple of complications along the way.
One obstacle that caused challenges was difficulty and finding times for us to work together on our project. This was very difficult because Emelia and I had very busy schedules that gave us very little time to do anything extra. Not only that, but our schedules always seemed to overlap each other when either one of us had extra time to work on the project.